They're sexy, provocative, dare we say, titillating?
Hi, welcome to Twin Peaks!
Welcome to the world of Bosom Bars, where the dining experience is stripped back to the bare essentials.
We're America's only restaurant.
We got some good friends, good drinks, good food. It's all good.
Don't dare call them sleazy.
There has to be a little bubble, as we say, and like a little distance.
They are perfectly formed, socially acceptable business models,
We're opening a new restaurant approximately every 2 weeks.
growing 30% faster than regular restaurant chains.
It's hanging out with your buddies and looking at beautiful women. The American way.
Sure, skimpy outfits help, but there are secrets to succeeding in the themed restaurant end of town.
We work hard at it.
It's all about names, it's about unique, it's about identity.
There's 1,000 things that can go wrong.
Sit back with a cold one while we dig deep to discover why the Bosom Bar business is booming.
Here we are, opening day, playing restaurant.
Texas-based sports bar chain Twin Peaks is about to open its Fort Worth restaurant, number 43 in the chain.
Twin Peaks? There it is.
Going through final preparations are 25 lumberjack-styled waitresses.
You guys know me, I'm Candace. I'm Ariana.
Hi, ladies. In case you forgot, I'm Gabby. Again.
In the back, there are a dozen kitchen staff, over a ton of food, and 150 kegs of beer. And in just 2 hours, the first customers will be coming through the door.
Hi, welcome to Twin Peaks!
There's a battle ablazing in the casual dining sector, and Bosom Bars are taking down the opposition with a strategic attack plan. One chain have even coined their own unique classification: restaurants.
I had heard the word restaurant used a few times, and the word restaurant just described us to the T. So we kind of put our arms around the word.
Restaurants or Bosom Bars? What makes these diners different?
They have themed designs for their server uniforms, and they have an emphasis on hiring practices for younger, attractive females.
Darren Tristano of America's leading restaurant analyst firm Technomic spends his days studying profit and loss statements and researching consumer behavior. And he likes what he's seeing.
Over the next few years, we would expect it to grow from around $2 billion to closer to $3 billion.
He says many traditional restaurants are shutting up shop, while themed bars are proving successful by sticking to the age-old adage that the customer knows best.
This is what most of the patrons want: comfort, relaxation, and good quality service and food.
In uniform so neat.
According to Darren, Bosom Bars grew out of the Texas drive-in chains of the 30s. And then along came Hooters.
Every time you make
In 1983, Hooters opened out in Clearwater, Florida, and has grown over the past 30 years to be a very large and dominant leader in the restaurant segment.
that we're always at your service.
25, 30 years ago, I would go to Hooters.
Twin Peaks CEO Randy DeWitt knew Hooters was onto something, but felt he could offer a new twist.
I zeroed in on things that I would want to experience if I went to a sports bar. I wanted great made-from-scratch food. I wanted beer so cold you would get ice in it. And I wanted a great audio-visual package. And, of course, who doesn't appreciate a really pretty waitress?
It would seem thousands of American men agree, because Twin Peaks and its fellow Bosom Bars are hitting a very profitable purple patch. Turns out, there's a science to Bosom Bar success. And not surprisingly, the main ingredient to keeping customers focused is our first secret: the girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right here.
The right attitude is key. So, back to opening day in Fort Worth, where a flying squad of experienced waitresses inject sports bar savvy into the new recruits.
So we're gonna wanna pull from here. This is our man mug. See how cold it is? Feel it.
Oh, yeah, it's really cold.
Yeah, so it's super cold.
We're looking for the girl next door.
Just approach the table always with a smile.
We use an acronym to tell them the way we want them to behave while they're at work. It spells PEAKS. P is for playful.
So let's pour a naughty brunette, since I'm a really cute brunette. Okay, so you're gonna wanna hold it.
E is for energetic.
We always wanna greet them with a huge smile and a huge welcome.
A is for attentive.
Set down your coasters. Awesome. And then this is when you can take a seat.
Oh.
K is for knowledgeable. They have to know about the beers.
Look at all those beer crystals.
They have to know about the food they're selling. And we want them to know the customers too. So we teach them to ask the customers' names, get to know your regulars.
And start a conversation with your table, ask them how they're doing.
And then S, that stands for sexy.
Okay, so right now there's a guest walking in. Ready? Hi, welcome to Twin Peaks.
Sexy girls. Surely that's a no-brainer in an industry dubbed Bosom Bars. But these girls have a trick they use to make their customers feel extra special.
One section is 6 tables. What does that mean? Two girls wait on 6 tables.
It's not flaunting. This is professional flirting. They only work a handful of tables at once.
Do you guys need another beer, water?
So for a short time at least, they're your new best friend. The chain simply known as Bikinis wants an even closer relationship between staff and patrons.
We need to be selling everything that we can at the tables. Eye-level service, name exchange, looking people in the eye.
And I am Reagan.
Every waitress is instructed to sign her name on the beverage napkins.
What do you do to Reagan's Bev Nap?
Ribbon.
What do you do to Reagan's Bev Nap? The more y'all are around, the more y'all are around each other's tables, it's gonna create a thing where we're making a connection and everybody in the room is making a connection with these people.
My team works a lot on finding the right image, the right personality. We kind of look for the girl next door, even though they've never really lived next door to me.
Very wrong person. Do you know how to pronounce her name?
Yet the girls and what they wear, or perhaps what they don't wear, do attract criticism. But according to restaurant consultant Linda Duke, Bosom Bars are servicing a legitimate niche.
You have to find your niche. It is about who can serve them the best in a beautiful way and create an environment that is very appealing to men in the United States.
One of the outlets leading the way is Tilted Kilt, where hiring the best possible staff is considered vital.
The hardest one is just finding the right girls for the show.
Welcome to the Tilted Kilt.
We have the stage set up with the TVs, with the cold beer, with the great food. Just kind of finding that right talent that fits our image. How's Ashley doing for you guys? Good? Awesome.
Store General Manager Erin Columbi prefers her staff smart and perky.
We gotta have somebody who's intelligent, portrays class in all aspects of our business at all times, somebody that has a sense of humor.
Do you want it in a bottle?
That kind of has that wow factor that makes us a little bit different.
I've heard we exploit women. I would beg to differ. I'd think maybe if anything, it's the other way. And I'd say they don't really know our concept. They're missing a lot.
Ron Lynch at Tilted Kilt says don't judge a book by its lack of cover. Come in, have a beer, and get to know the staff. Like Shelley Rivera.
There was one time where I had a guest try to get a little grabby, but we make sure I told them that's not allowed on here, and we had security handle with them.
Look but don't touch is always the rule, no exceptions.
The girls make sure that they can't touch anything over here, and we're not here for that. We're here for business. We're here to entertain them, make sure that they have a good time, but also make sure that they know they're not in a strip club or anything like that. It's more of a waitressing hey, here's your food and drinks and have a good time, other than you're here to touch us.
Keeping it safe and sexy as opposed to sleazy also attracts female staff who want a friendly, flexible workplace paying big tips.
The girls that work there, you know, we're all super intelligent. Almost all of us are in school or getting our masters or getting our bachelors.
You want to grab that side for me?
Married Ashley Ray has an automotive degree, and she's studying law. But her job at Tilted Kilt is what pays the bills.
I don't feel exposed in any way. And, you know, it's not for everybody, and that's all right. But the girls that are there, you can tell they're outgoing, they're happy, and they're confident.
Do you guys have anything special planned for today?
19-year-old Michaela Francis is a dedicated Twin Peaks girl. She relies on her job to help her care for her grandparents who raised her.
Basically, my mom decided that she couldn't take care of my brother and I. So my grandparents came and got me. My grandpa has kidney failure, and they both have diabetes.
How are you guys doing today?
As a Twin Peaks girl, she earns better money than she would in other retail jobs, meaning she can repay her grandparents' kindness.
Hey guys, how are you? Good, how many's your party today?
There are many secrets to running a successful Bosom Bar.
She's doing a wonderful job for us, but she has not given us any free drinks yet, and this is a bachelor party weekend.
If hiring the right waitress was rule number 1, rule number 2 is all about creating the best customer experience. And for that, you need a theme.
A lot of restaurant concepts focus on their lighting or decor or their music to be what makes their theme. And what makes these types of places the theme are the women. How they wiggle at your table.
1, 2, 3,
We're so proud of our team and what we've built, and we believe that it has a lot of legs, pun intended.
Doug Guller lives and breathes bikinis. He had a restaurant epiphany while sitting on an Aussie beach, and he's never looked back.
This beautiful waitress came up, and there was a rugby match on TV, and she handed me a cold beer, and I'm like, man, this is phenomenal. I've got to bring something like this back to the States.
Bikinis is a place where every day is like a spring break holiday. Leave your cares and any notions of political correctness at the door.
If someone serving you a burger in a bikini top, jeans, shorts, and cowboy boots is going to get you upset, there's probably bigger issues there.
Sit wherever you like and I'll follow you.
The beachy theme fulfills a male fantasy.
If you're ready to see some girls in bikinis, make some noise!
Where patrons become pageant judges.
Brittany from the block!
And bar taking boomed by 50%.
It kind of embodies a culture where you say, be yourself, be independent, be sexy, be whatever you want to be.
Everything Doug does promotes the bikinis lifestyle.
We've come up with some really cool PR events to get the word out there.
So why not buy an island? Say, a remote paradise.
There's a country where you have the local bikinians, and that's how the name Bikini came to be. So I called the gentleman who runs the country out there in the Marshall Islands, and it turns out the country is not for sale.
But Doug still wanted to see the bikini's name on a map.
Yeah, how's the day?
So he searched closer to home and found out the ghost town of Bankersmith, Texas was going cheap.
We saw the ad on Craigslist. We contacted him, and lo and behold, we bought the town and renamed it Bikinis, Texas.
Doug plans to turn the entire town into an outdoor music venue. But for his next stunt, he's taking customer loyalty to whole new levels. Love bikinis? Why not get it tattooed forever onto your body?
We floated it out there to our most loyal fans, and the response was overwhelming in terms of getting a tattoo.
This my very first tattoo. A little nervous about it.
That's right. Doug's most loyal customers can have the letter B indelibly inked. Clearly, he's very confident bikinis will survive more than just a couple of years.
New restaurants have a very, very high failure rate. The culture within our industry is a short time span.
The staff are backing Doug, as if turning up to work with little more than a bikini and a smile wasn't enough. Some are also getting bikinis branded. That's quite a loyalty program.
Just pretty much figured, why not? I'm not afraid of getting ink, and I love the company. I worked for them for a while, since February. It's just a bikini top.
Twin Peaks came about from a desire to innovate. Owner Randy DeWitt and wife Michelle ran a small chain of restaurants and were looking for their next big idea.
The big idea was, do something in the sports bar segment.
I was sort of tired of all the beachy-themed sports bars, so I just thought, it would be really cool if we did something kind of mountainous and rugged and outdoorsy. And so, Twin Peaks just sort of seemed a little double entendre, but it seemed like a good name, and we checked it out, and most importantly, it was easy to trademark. So.
Creating the right theme in a crowded market is vital, because that's what builds reputation and brings patrons back.
I'm pretty much the idea guy. I like to tell people the direction we want to go in, what I want it to look and feel like, what I want it to sound like, what I want it to taste like, and then I get the experts involved and get out of their way.
It's those great outdoors ideas that create identity. So a bar with a 40-foot climbing wall makes perfect sense.
Every guy wishes he had a mountain lodge retreat that he could go to, and there'd be a beautiful girl there to bring him beer and made-from-scratch food, and he could watch football all day.
It's the same sport-watching sentiment over at Tilted Kilt. But unlike bikinis and Twin Peaks, they've taken a different perspective altogether. This is Scotland meets America, where tradition is important.
We characterize ourselves as a sports pub. So our sports pubs kind of harken back to the old world where it was a public house, and you were going to go into somebody's home, and actually the wife would serve you or the daughter would serve you. The husband would pour the drinks, and he would make the food in the back. And so we kind of harken back to that.
Ron Lynch took over an existing single Tilted Kilt restaurant in Las Vegas, liked what he saw, and began building an empire.
Now, the typical customer for the Tilted Kilt is 37 years old. 70% of our customers are male, 30% are female. Sports bars or sports pubs still are primarily the domain of the guys, to watch the sports. It was kind of what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for another boring restaurant. This world has enough boring restaurants.
Then there's the new kid on the block, Bombshells. David Simmons saw an opportunity in the Bosom Bar market for some military muscle.
This generation of restaurants that's coming out now, it's all about names, it's about unique, it's about identity. The girls that we have in here are part of our atmosphere.
With just one restaurant and a theme locked in, Bombshells is ready to blast off.
We can go so many ways with Bombshells. We can go to the pinup girls from the 40s to the military aspect, and it's pretty creative.
Most Bosom Bar owners agree there are only 2 reasons why their bars bring patrons back. And it's probably not what you're thinking. The answer, giving them the broadest choice of beer and the simplest food at the cheapest possible price. Bosom Bar's secret number 3, the beer. Study this picture of a typical Twin Peaks greeting. Don't be distracted by the plaid-clad cuties. You want to focus on that number behind the counter. That, believe it or not, is the temperature of the beer.
That is our secret weapon here. It's not a secret, we advertise it. It is our competitive advantage here at Twin Peaks. We serve beer coming out of the tap at 29 degrees. We pour it into a frozen mug every time. It's so refreshing, and we have to deliver it every time. Sounds easy, it's really difficult.
If you want warm ale, go to England. But here in America, beer is a drink served cold, frosty cold. There's an estimated 20,000 beers in the world, and most bars will offer 60 or more. Bikinis keep their beer in a cooler just like you're at the beach. Staying on their summertime all the time brand requires that much attention to detail.
We believe it's sort of Darwin's theory. You know, it's going to be the survival of the fittest out there.
It may seem obvious, but you can never take your customer for granted. As restaurant consultant Linda Duke constantly reminds her clients.
You can't make mistakes in the restaurant business. It's every customer, every day, every meal. So it's not just about the bikinis.
There's an old saying in the Bosom Bar business. Come for the breasts, stay for the wings. The fourth secret to making it big in this market is get the food right. Cold beer and comfort food are a match made in heaven.
Thank you, baby.
Welcome. Delivered by angels.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Bikinis.
In swimsuits. In a sports bar, when the game's on, you don't want to fuss with cutlery. So Bikinis make sure their signature dishes are finger-friendly. And we're reliably informed the burgers are a crowd favorite. Bombshells and Twin Peaks stick to much the same safe food formula.
Our menu is mom's cooking. But, you know, it's not the mom from yesteryear, it's the mom of today.
Standing by at the tartan end of town, Tilted Kilt believe they have a dining secret that sets them apart. Carefully selected menu specials.
We probably have the best food in the sports bar segment. We work hard at it because our belief is that we know what attracts people into our concept the first time. But to keep that repeat customers, our food has to be dead on.
So, Curly, what do you have for us today?
This is Tilted Kilt's engine room. Ideas are hatched, plans are made, and the serious side of satisfying thousands of hungry bar patrons every day is given to head chef Curly.
We do these tastings every 3 or 4 months.
In a market where a meal and a beer will set you back less than 20 bucks, Chef Curly's challenge is to keep reinventing good food.
Our food has to be dead on. Curly brings those items to us.
There's definitely heat in this kitchen, but not as much heat as here. The menu committee, about to test Curly's new creations.
Our menu committee is continually having to reach out to further and further.
Decisions here are critical, balancing taste, portion size, and cost of their food. Tilted Kilt's very reputation is at stake. First, Cajun chicken salad. But is 10 bucks too expensive?
And you've got it priced at $10?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that this would be something we'd sell for $9.50? 10's not a lot for this much food, but 10, get over the $10 starts to scare people a little bit.
That's an additional challenge. They have not just, is it good, you know, is it priced right?
Thumbs up for the chicken, now priced at a thrifty $9.50. Next, curly shrimp.
Smells a little spicy.
I mean, I like it this way, but I don't think... Excuse me, I gotta have a...
Yeah, there we go.
Your nose is turning red.
It literally goes right to the back of your throat.
It's back to the kitchen for Chef Curly. Live sports, cold beer, hot girls. The testosterone-fueled end of the food chain doesn't want for much to satisfy customers, even when there's no testosterone.
Got the tatas showing and the plaid, it's awesome.
But get a tiny part wrong, and sexy can turn shabby. Secret number 5 in Bosom Bar's success. The uniform.
You can have the best furniture and the best TVs and the best food, and that's expensive. But our greatest asset is really the girls that we have working in here.
This is Bombshells, a military-themed sports bar. CEO David Simmons has a Bosom Bar predicament.
I think the uniforms that we had initially were conservative. They were very basic. They did have the military feel. We had a bullet belt on, we had camouflage shorts on, and we had our logo on there. But they just didn't really complement the girls the way that we wanted to.
A Bosom Bar's uniform needs to be like a cheerleading outfit. Revealing, but socially acceptable. So David called in the grand mistress of the uniform makeover, Tara Saunders.
Well, we originally started doing restaurant uniforms, and we actually got a trademark on the term restaurant uniforms.
1, 2, 3. Great.
Tara knows her tops from her bottoms. This former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader perfected her skills designing cheerleader outfits.
One day, I had a phone call from a person who said, hey, I'm opening a restaurant. Would you like to make me some uniforms that look like cheerleading uniforms? And it was like, ding. So, David, tell me what you're thinking.
Well, obviously we want sexy, number 1.
David's brief is, well, briefs.
Well, you know, David, looking at your staff, it is very, very clear that they can pull off something a little sexier than this. But definitely, we can find a way to still keep it classy, fun, and playful. Bombshells is an amazing concept. It is very, very throwback, Army, all-Americana. The look is sexy, military, hot.
Sexy, military, hot, but not offensive. Can Tara pull it off? David sure hopes so.
It's important to create the uniform to keep Bombshells in here and the concept of that, but I want their personality, whether it be their tattoos, their hair, maybe a piercing or two. I want them to shine through.
While Tara sweats on the Bombshell shine, she may reflect on what's working for other brands. Tilted Kilt avoided a dress dilemma. Their cue came from a Scottish tartan.
It must be incredibly challenging to serve food and beer with next to nothing on, and you have to be very confident. I don't think I could do it myself.
It's all about being sassy, not crassy, because you never know who's the next customer. Like a mom who's dropped in with her boys to watch their favorite team.
I don't even notice it really myself. I'm kind of like, oh, whatever. I talk to my kids and stuff. But I know that my boys notice it.
At Bikinis, owner Doug Guller wanted his uniform to reflect that beachy, laid-back look.
I think society wants you to operate a certain way. Take, for example, you have a runway model. What she's really doing is selling those clothes as she walks down the catwalk. We kind of are doing the same thing. We're just selling chicken wings.
Meanwhile, at Twin Peaks, the scenic views double entendre makes the perfect peekaboo pairing.
It's playful, it's tongue-in-cheek, we're not serious, and there's no misbehavior. That's just not tolerated at Twin Peaks.
So back to Tara Saunders at Waitressville. Can she create a uniform that's all class with a hint of sass?
I want every detail of this outfit, from side to side to front to back, to say sexy and say military. Let's do it!
The uniforms begin to take shape. It's surprising how much can go into so little.
I think restaurants got a bad rap in the past. All you should know is that you can go to this restaurant with your wife, with your kids, with your boys, with your friends, with your business partners, and have a great time and feel like you're seeing something that's attractive and still appropriate.
Time for Bombshell's David Simmons to see if his saucy brief has become a sexy reality.
Okay, here we go.
Wow. She's taking the ideas that we've thrown out there and melding them together into an incredible outfit. When customers walk in now, see it, there's a, without question, a wow factor.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Remember, these designs are not just for the customers, they're for the staff. Let's see what they think.
Oh, I'm loving them. I love the cufflink. I'm loving the material. It's actually quite durable and you can move in them.
So far, so good.
Well, I love them. I love how form-fitting they are, but my favorite part is this right here, because you can do that and, you know, it looks nice on everybody and it helps everybody out a little bit right there, so.
That's 2 for 2.
I really like our new uniforms. I think they're very complimenting to our bodies. And it's also gonna help us make more money. I feel very confident, I feel sexy. I wanna come to work and I wanna show everyone what I look like, how great I feel, and I feel like it's just gonna help my tips overall. I look great.
Meanwhile, with their new uniforms hitting the target, Bombshells has begun looking for ways to attract new customers. Luckily, they've got one of Dallas's busiest freeways right outside their door.
If you look at the simple concentration out the window of the cars driving by, there's plenty of business.
In an effort to drag that business off the freeway and into his restaurant, David's begun a Wednesday afternoon tradition out front of his store.
We have a big balls tournament, which is basically beer pong on steroids. They've got giant trash cans and giant balls that they have to throw to get into the trash cans. The most 10 wins.
But this Wednesday, there's some competition on the way.
There is no way that we're gonna lose against Bombshells, right?
Yeah, all right.
Never one to let a PR opportunity slip by, Doug Guller's bringing a van load of girls from his Bikinis Dallas store.
I brought the top 4 girls from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the hottest, the best, the smartest, and they will no doubt kick some Bombshell ass today. Yeah, did you hear that? Give me some of that. What's up?
We don't want our girls just to come to work and have to wait on tables and take care of customers. We want them to also enjoy a certain level of lifestyle when they work for us. And part of that's the playfulness and the fun.
Today's tournament may be playful, fun, and of benefit to both brands, but to Doug Guller, it's still a competition.
They've been really good to communicate with and set this up, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be victorious on this.
It's not about win or lose, it's just about having fun, and maybe we'll win.
A chorus of honks from the freeway heralds a contest like no other.
We have it set up outside where Bikinis is there and Bombshells is there, and they'll go back and forth and compete.
The battle for sports bar supremacy has come down to this.
Sure, we shop our competitors. We make sure that we know what they're offering, and then we internalize that and make sure that we're putting out the best offering that we have.
As for the game itself, in 10 minutes of play, no one scores a point. But passing cars are honking and exiting the freeway. It's putting butts on Bombshell seats. And then, the moment everyone's been waiting for, Bombshell scores a point. Then another. Team Bikinis is defeated. If all you had to do is strip down to your Daisy Dukes to make a buck in the Bosom Bar business, then everyone would be flashing some flesh. But the one big secret that makes them successful for countless customers is sport.
You know, they're here to watch their team, they're here to watch us, and, you know, if it's a little competitive, it's all good, it's fun and games here.
The uninformed and casual observer can be forgiven for thinking the patrons come here with only one thing in mind.
You'll be here all night with me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good. Get to know each other then.
Alrighty.
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
But nothing could be further from the truth.
Thank you.
The main factor in this business, big TVs. According to restaurant industry expert Darren Tristano, it's no coincidence Bosom Bar boom time arrived when TVs became cheap.
Well, I think with the sports bar boom, it really has a lot to do with technology, believe it or not.
It's pretty common now to see TVs in a restaurant. 20 years ago, it wasn't so common. There were a few around.
David Simmons has big plans for his Bosom Bar chain Bombshells. A plan based on watching TV. Lots of them, all at once.
Years ago, it wasn't so important. You know, you had 20 TVs or 10 TVs, and you had 3 games on or 4 games, and it's pretty easy to pick them out. But now you have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 TVs.
Dave's picked up on the Bosom Bar patron-to-screen ratio. Every seat must be able to see at least one game on TV, preferably more. Over at Bikinis, it's pre-game day briefing. Football slang is drilled in.
First off, being at 3 o'clock, being A&M versus Alabama, and I've had a lot of people calling over the last couple of days, reserving tables, wanting spots to come in and watch that game. Bama and Aggie fans, everybody wants to watch Johnny Manziel today.
If you don't know what he's talking about, you're in the wrong bar. Unless you fake it.
You know, they talk to me about it and I talk to them about it, but I'm also like, I'm a girl, you know, I don't know everything. So I know the point system, you know, I know whenever they're losing or winning.
And to continue the sports theme, the whole day is structured like a football game.
We have managers, but we call them coaches. Even a typical day, we have lunch and dinner, we call them games. Our defense is the kitchen. Our offense are the servers and everyone else in the front. And we have a huddle before every game. That huddle means something right then and there.
Bikinis on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bikinis!
While the sports-based staff roster isn't employed at rival bars, TV still rules. At Tilted Kilt, it's the biggest day of the football season.
Booze and boobs. Double B, can't go wrong.
I love football myself, and no better place when they show all the football games on every other TV. You got some pretty girls to look at, fun guys to hang out with, good friends, good drinks, good food. It's all good.
So there are some that come just for the game.
We like a certain football team. They're not on regular TV, and when we come here, they have all the TVs going, and we know we can watch what we want to watch.
Careful, Mom. Your boys aren't just watching TV.
I think the waitresses are incredibly good looking, or as in teenager terms, hot.
It's always hot in Bosom Bar world, one of the fastest growing markets in the restaurant industry.
Like, it's a good spot to, like, come and meet guys and hang out and have a good time.
They're the bottom end of the restaurant game that's going all the way to the top. Some like to be called breastaurants.
Let's try to see if we can wrap our arms around it and be the only restaurant in this space.
Others prefer the more genteel term, sports bars.
It's the blue-collar businessmen.
have a cold beer and watch TV, watch sports. We've got all of that for them.
Bosom bars, man caves, and occasionally even family restaurants.
A lot of people think because of the outfit, we're not a family environment, but there's a lot of people that come here, they bring their kids. You know, they come here to family dinners, they have reunions.
I just had the fried chicken. It's the best I've ever tasted.
She was raving about it. I had a barbecue cheeseburger, and it was really good.
Really good.
Cheap food, cold beer, attentive staff, skimpy outfits. These are all part of attracting the usually male customer. But if you think that's all you need for Bosom Bar's success, you're not even close. Your bottom line won't bounce if you don't have a firm grip on the final secret. Location.
The right location is very important, especially with these type of restaurants, you know, near a stadium, near some other sporting activity, athletics, and so forth, keeping it focused on their niche with the male-dominated consumer.
The Bosom Bar boom began in Texas and grew up all over the Midwest. And now, they're taking over.
We're running at a pretty fast clip here. We have 43 restaurants open as of today. We're opening a new restaurant approximately every 2 weeks.
Randy DeWitt at Twin Peaks loves talking expansion. But inside competitor Tilted Kilt's planning room, war has been declared.
Looks like we're going to be in a race between Wayne, New Jersey and Chino Hills, California on the next open.
Every pin strategically plots a restaurant site near a sports stadium with strong, loyal fans, ready to cheer on their team in a Celtic-themed bar.
Well, we have 88 pubs open right now. We hope to hit 100 plus this year.
Las Vegas, a place where fortunes are made and lost. And the setting for a looming battle between tartan and flannel. In the red corner is Twin Peaks, with a gigantic store on the Strip spanning over 1/3 of an acre.
This store is its own separate type of animal. It's got 3 stories. We could get a party of 20, we could get a party of 200. There's something going on all the time.
It has 100 TVs, 150 staff, and cost $8 million to build. There's even a 40-foot climbing wall.
This is our largest restaurant. It sees more customer per week than any other Twin Peaks.
But guess who's moving in just a few blocks away?
20 million people walking by this site. You can't beat that anywhere on the planet, I don't think.
Our pub will be 9,000 square feet,
Nice.
2 levels.
Nice.
It's going to be great.
Right.
Ron Lynch's chain Tilted Kilt was founded here in Las Vegas in 2003. And he's looking forward to reclaiming his home turf.
Our competitors have a very large store in this area, but we're on the center of the Strip, right on the Link project, right in this block where we're at. There's more hotel rooms than all of San Diego County. We have a better location.
But Twin Peaks owner Randy DeWitt says Tilted Kilt will have their work cut out for them.
The Tilted Kilts is building their new restaurant up the road here a little bit, and that's good competition for us. I think it's a brave move by them to enter this market, and they're going to be surprised at how difficult it is to execute here on the Strip.
And, not to be outdone, at Bombshell's restaurant, it's boom time.
I really expect us to open at least one every 60 days going forward, and we'll probably pick that pace up by the time we get to 2015.
All right, y'all want to follow me?
And then there's bikinis, the skimpiest of them all. And business has never been better.
The first one opened up in '06, and then we just opened up our 14th in Dallas.
Bosom bars are taking over, fearlessly treading where other restaurants are failing. And that spirit isn't going to stop.
Sorry.
Bosom Bar expert Darren Tristano thinks this sexy formula will be the next American cultural gift to the world.
The American market has proven the fact that this is an opportunity and a place that customers want to go. There's a global opportunity for it.
But is the world ready for this battalion of beauty, sports, and beer? Ron Lynch is betting on it.
It takes a lot of resources to go international. And so we finally decided that we're positioned to do that. And we're getting a lot of interest abroad. In 2014, that's going to be one of our initiatives to find some key partners internationally to work with.
World domination awaits. But for now, this rapid rollout is keeping owners busy. Randy DeWitt spends his days ensuring the Bosom Bar secrets to success are hitting the mark. He knows the location is right. The promotion is perfect.
It's a surprise visit like all of my visits to my restaurants are.
He inspects the girls. Check, check, check.
All right, Brian.
He samples the food.
And how about sour cream? I've got to make sure that's in the safety zone there. All right, very good.
Check. And finally, he enters Twin Peaks' most sacred area.
Brian, let's get in here and check out the walk-in cooler.
All right.
All's cool and calibrated in the beer fridge. So, after Randy's surprise audit, the word for the day is awesome.
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 Absolutely awesome.
Awesome.
They're awesome. Awesome.
The pot roast, it's really awesome and delicious.
Let's open up these doors.
Let's open this baby.
Let's go.
And another Bosom Bar is open for business. Those titillating drive-ins that morphed into Hooters are now spawning a whole new food fight.
Our restaurant's a passing fad. It's part of our culture.
That's right, this is culture. As refined as a Rembrandt. With a tried and true flavor that's purely American.
Whether it's tame or not tame, it's been in our American history, from the pinup girls to Miss America and the swimsuit competition. You know, back in the day, there were flappers and strippers, and now we've got restaurants.